Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As mentioned, I'm here to speak to you about accessing Europe from Ireland. Now, just to begin with, have a look at this slide. What is the common thread that binds these logos? Of course, they are big brands, and most of them are American, famous, and they all have the European operations based out of Ireland. On the back of Ireland's success with these larger brands, the new wave of technology companies have set up in Ireland. And therefore, if you have a look at the second slide, there are some more brand names that have registered themselves in Ireland that use Ireland as their European headquarters. Now, to understand this, why are they in Ireland? Why do these companies choose Ireland? We need to, over the next about 8 to 10 slides, I'm going to talk to you about why they do that. And before we move on, I thought I'll quickly tell you what is Ireland. It's a small country, part of Europe, a republic, part of the EU, part of the Eurozone. It's an English-speaking part of Eurozone, but at the moment, the English-speaking part of Eurozone, and soon to be the only English-speaking part of the EU. It has a population of 4.5 million people, and being member of the EU, it has free access to people, trade across Europe, and it has a common law legal system, same like as in India. A quick snapshot of the industries that Ireland boasts of. We have 9 of the top 10 global pharma companies and ICT companies. We have all the top 10 born on the internet companies. We have the top 5 ICT companies from India, the 7 of the top 10 industrial automation companies, and 15 of the top 20 medical device companies. Why are all these companies in Ireland? Why do they continue to grow out of Ireland? And why do more companies choose Ireland? One of the main factors is our population. It's young, it's attracted from across the EU, it's multilingual, and it's flexible. I already mentioned the labor regulation being very flexible, and that further adds to the attraction of the talent pool in Ireland. We have the best demographics in the world, but definitely the best in Europe, with an average age of 35 years. So India boasts of a young population. Similarly, Ireland also boasts of a very young population. A Eurostat report of 2014 states that the Irish population is very productive. And the same statement has been endorsed by Tech Mahindra, the CTO of Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra have a large center in Ireland. They continue to grow out of Ireland. And despite having multiple centers across Europe, they continue to grow their center in Ireland and focus on Ireland because they find the talent is the most productive. Wage inflation. Wage inflation in Ireland remains subdued, and an IMF report states that average age will increase at about 2% per annum until 2020. And this is against a backdrop of Europe, where costs, as you would be aware, are very high and continue to grow. I should have mentioned earlier, the GDP of Ireland Ireland has recorded a positive GDP growth over the past few years. And again, analysts agree that that will continue to about a growth of about 3 to 3.5% year on year until the end of the decade. At the moment, it stands at 7%. Another factor that Ireland is an attractive location is our corporate tax rate. It is amongst the lowest in the EU at 12.5%. Apart from that, we have attractive R&D tax credits and a very aggressive system around research and development. I mentioned English speaking. Ireland is also ranked consistently as the most easy place to do business in, the least bureaucratic place to do business in. The Forbes has ranked Ireland as the fourth best country in the world for business last year. You get, as a company that does business out of Ireland for Europe, you have access to about 500 million people And the Irish education system is amongst the best in, is ranked in the top 10 countries in the world. We have cities and we have our clusters. So although Ireland is a small country, we've got cities that that would excel and be at par with any of the global cities. We don't talk about just Dublin and Cork, which is the capital city and the second biggest city in Ireland, but even our smaller cities would compete with the best cities in the world in terms of infrastructure connectivity, telecoms connectivity, and the clusters we've developed. I already referred to the sectors that Ireland has strengths in, so these would be our clusters. The clusters further, besides just the companies, the larger companies, the smaller companies that feed into the ecosystem, we also have research institutes and institutes of technologies which play a very important role. I referred to this earlier. Other considerations, apart from all this, yes, we have a very effective legal system, an IP system, labor laws are very easy. Time zone, it lies perfectly between India and the US if you need to access the US market. And of course, within Europe, you have accessibility. And there is government support. Basically, Ireland has made it very easy for businesses to do business. I started with a slide of foreign-owned brands. Here is a snapshot of some Indian companies that have based themselves in Ireland. We have over 35 Indian companies that IDA have helped set up. Besides it, we have more than, apart from that, we have more than 60 Indian companies in Ireland. In fact, NIIT and Infosys set up large centers last year, and NIIT is content creation, and Infosys that set up last year, it has set up its first product-centric R&D center outside India. Who are we? We are a government department. We help Indian companies, foreign-owned companies, but in our case, Indian companies set up in Ireland. We'd like to talk to companies to understand what their European plans are, and we like to explore with them to see if Ireland could be a solution. How do we help? We partner with you. We handhold you to the extent you require. We make introductions to the network in Ireland, and we help you get all the information that you require. There's also financial incentive and grants from the government, from research institutes, from the EU, but it depends on what product or service you're selling, and accordingly we could help you access these pots of money. I thought I would share with you a couple of slides that talk about what our Indian investors have to say. Every one of them, as you would see, are flattering, not just about the fact that Ireland's an easy country to do business in. Ireland is easy to set up in. It is the least bureaucratic country in Europe. But you will also see that they talk about our skill set, IDA support. Here's Atul Kanwar, CTO of Tech Mahindra. I referred to what he said about the staff. And here's about the tax regime. Important to note here, Ireland is a low-tax economy, not a tax haven. So if you need to set up in Ireland and take advantage of the 12.5% corporate tax rate, then you need to have substance in Ireland. By that I mean, it's not just about the billing, it's about having some form of operations, some people in Ireland, or maybe decision-making in Ireland. Here's Skeleton Tech that set up earlier this year, and what they have to say about Ireland. That's me. Thank you, and I'd like to end with a video, please.
What makes Ireland great? Is it this? Or is it this? Is it the rugged sounds of ancient Isle? Or the fizz and hum of computer file? Our legion of genius writers. And then, new geniuses who've never even lifted pen. There's the gab with the gift, the eyes with the glint, the talk and the wit. Great to do business with. People, talent. People, talent. Passion, rebellion, innovation, education. A famous welcome by the 100,000. An Emerald Isle, so European, the green. Hub, hive, source, thrive. What makes Ireland great? Makes Ireland great for business. See why at idaireland.com.